Hey, what's going on? You are watching and listening to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex the Live edition. I am your host, Stevie. This is episode 442. I'm so happy to be back in the seat of Tags Live.
Me too.
And I really thank my co-host, Kodi Maurice Doggette, for filling in last week. You did such a good job with Teddy, Alexis. Thank you so much. Really fun.
Thank you, darling. Hello, darling. I forgot almost to say hello, darling. It was so wonderful to host the show. I'm so glad you're back. And I'm over here sitting down, feeling like $1,000,000 thanks to Manscaped, the new beard trimmer that's out. It's amazing. It makes my beard
Manscaped
the perfect length for sexy stubble, and my mustache is popping because of them. Thank you so much, Manscaped.
Yeah, we got hooked up. I used their clippers to get ready for my Vakaya cruise, and everything was neat and trim. And believe me, the boys appreciated it down there. With a little bit of stubble too.
Ooh.
There was a guy that actually said, "You have the right ratio of ass hair up there." I have to say, I was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Okay,
that is quite the compliment."
Yeah, but you guys, you probably heard our ad, but you can get 20% off, and all you got to do is go to manscaped.com, and at checkout, use our promo code TAGSPOD, TAGSPOD. You get 20% off, and the best part is you get free shipping worldwide. So that's really awesome. We have so much to talk about. I said on episode 441, we recorded it. I was in Fort Lauderdale. Today I'm in Puerto Vallarta, the other coast, and so happy to be here. I'll be here for about 10 days helping my sister out with her brand new condo. So it's really
Love
kind of cool. I know, super exciting to be here, but the show continues and going on. Check out my Instagram at I am_Steve V for all things related to Puerto Vallarta while I am here. I've got my margarita fishbowl making the rounds on this episode.
Well, mine isn't a fishbowl, but I do have a margarita too. So our special guest is a fishbowl, I guess.
Yes, and you know how much I love a good margarita. And when they said, "Do you want the single or the double?" I'm like, "The double." What are you talking about?
It's not even a question.
It's even a question. I just got off the plane, for crying out loud. Oh my goodness. So here's the funny thing about producing this show. When you're on the road trying to do it, I was on the plane. I know you know what I'm talking about, Kodi.
That's why I'm giggling.
And for you guys listening, I scour all these gay sites, and I have the system that I go through. Normally in my studio at home, no problem at all. Mm-hmm. I was on a plane on JetBlue earlier today, and sitting next to Rocco's a little boy and the funny thing about it all, they were like the coolest mom and son sitting next to me, but you can't be looking up straight up gay porn, the site, and other things that we look at to get some of these stories. Mm-hmm. When you have a little boy sitting next to you. Yeah. I mean, you just can't do it. So I was doing everything like turning my light super dim so that nobody could really read anything. I could barely read it. I forgot my glasses at home, so I really couldn't read it. So this show might be a little bit shaky today, but bear with me. We did talk about it. We have some good topics, right, Kodi? I know you know what I'm talking about.
It's going to be entertaining, regardless.
If nothing else, for the fishbowl. But we do love it when you comment back to us, and we have some comments from many of you. And one of Pedro D wrote into us, and he said, "Thanks for episode 439, darling." He said, "I'm assuming that's very helpful. By the way, I have been taking." So this is where we had Dr. Goldstein, I believe. 439 was on the show. Let me just. Is that? It's 439.
440 was the one that I did by my. I
yes, thank you. Yes, so he's referencing, and we love Dr. Goldstein, and he said he's been taking this Yerba Prima Psyllium whole husks, 12 ounce for 15 years because I used to have hemorrhoids. He said, but I found out this fiber keeps me clean by itself. It's the best. Seriously, every morning. A cup with warm water. I used to be embarrassed after sex with the mess, and now since I have been using it, my 9.5-inch dick husband can enjoy without Shit, that's what he said. Anyways, I wish I can remember to be around listening to when you guys are live. Oh, okay, you'll hit us on the other end of it. Thanks, Pedro, and kind of
You,
jealous
Pedro, I
of
want to
your
follow y'all on
boyfriend.
OnlyFans. I know, right? I want to see all that.
Exactly. Eric M wrote into us. Eric Merrick Picks. Hi there. I was just a guest on the Atlantis Harmony cruise. So we were talking, if you remember, about my Vakaya cruise line. And he said, wondering if he's looking to be a guest on a show to talk about
Oh, cool.
gay cruising. He's been doing it for 3 years now. And he's a weekly listener of us. We really appreciate it, Eric.
Okay.
Thank you so much on that. And I had a couple more comments. Somebody actually, Kodi, believe it or not, saw me on the Vakaya cruise line. I reported on one
What?
the other day,
What did they see?
but yeah, exactly. Yeah, where's these comments? I got it. It's coming up here. Okay, yes. Miles, Mr. Miles, Mr. Miles on Instagram wrote, "Oh my God, I saw you from a distance on the Vakaya cruise, but missed you getting out of the pool to introduce myself as I love the podcast. Love your
Oh.
commentary on the trip discussing with the guys. My first and they booked it again. Very diverse and sex positive. Hope to meet you on a future Vakaya trip. Thanks, Miles.
Fabulous.
Absolutely. Yes. I was trying to work somebody on the cruise there. I was trying to slink in there, and you missed that part. At Capital
As we do.
999, Nick says, "Hi, I think you might like For the Love of Dilfs, a new gay dating show." Oh, we talked about this, hosted by Stormy Daniels, of all
Yeah.
people. I said I want to watch it, actually, and now if you like it, I'm going to watch it. Love Tags, been with it since day one, and thank you for giving me a UFO, ugly, fat, old gay, a bit of joy twice a week. Aw,
Aw.
thanks, Nick. That's so
He's so
sweet.
cute.
We love it when you write into us. It keeps the conversation going. So always feel like you can weigh in or ask us for sex or relationship advice. By the way, we're live tonight,
Oh, yeah.
and we are going to be reading commentary from you guys coming from all over the world, and we really thank you on that. We have so much to talk about on this show, and we're going to keep it moving, including just a quick follow-up on, we were talking about Don Lemon the other day, who's on CNN, who essentially put his foot in his mouth when he said, essentially on the morning show, that a woman is only in her prime when she's in her 20s, 30s, and he said maybe 40s. He doubled down on that. If you want to listen to what we really thought about it all, listen to episode 441. But the internet and nobody has been very kind back, as you can imagine, because it was a stupid thing to say. I think we
Oh,
can
yeah.
all agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
Just to follow up on that, he's back on CNN. At 6 a.m. on the dot, I wanted to tune in because they said he was going to be back. I had to leave the house at 7 a.m. to get here, but I tuned in. He really didn't have his tail between his legs. He was fine.
Really?
Not really. They didn't address it all, but he will be undergoing formal training.
What
So
does
there
that
is
mean?
not a lot, Kodi. It doesn't mean a lot, I think. And one of the shows that I was saying is it's been reported that he's unhappy there, and who knows what's going on. So maybe his days are numbered there, and he might not even end up being there till the end of the year. I don't know,
They
but
can
we just
call
wanted to.
us.
Oh, exactly.
Hello. We won't be saying anything like that. So give
No,
us a
we will
call,
not. Thank you very
CNN.
much. Yes, exactly. Moving on, because we have a lot to talk about. There's an actor that I didn't really know very well. You knew him, Jonathon Majors.
Yes.
Tell us where we would know Jonathon Majors from.
I know him from Lovecraft Country, which was an
Oh.
amazing show on HBO Max. He looks amazing in it. First of all, he is so hot. He is so beautiful. And I just had to get that out of the way. Also, I know him from, of course, the Avengers movies. He plays Kong the Conqueror, and he's in the new Quantumania by Ant-Man too.
And for all we know, he's straight, correct?
From what I know, yes.
So the reason why we're talking about him is because he's on the cover currently of Ebony magazine's February 2023 issue,
Mhm.
and the cover has gotten a lot of controversy. So he's 33, and on the cover he's shirtless and he's wearing a pink fur coat draped
Mhm.
over his shoulders. It's kind of paired with this really cool pair of blue dyed jeans. He's crossing his leg with this really, I mean, it's an outfit that is fierce.
It's
He's
fabulous.
he's seated on a, he's seated on a sofa with a pink background while posing with a kind of a pouty face and a red beanie. It's fierce. It's fabulous. The title of the cover is Jonathon Majors, Hollywood's Most Wanted. Everyone should be loving this. Well,
Yeah.
it's gotten backlash because one quote said, "Ladies, this is how Hollywood defines black masculinity. That's why so many of your men are defeated and weak." Watkins
Oh.
expressed on a tweet, yeah, this was the guy, Boyce Watkins, PhD, by the way, who decided to, and it got a lot of traction, Kodi, of a lot of people because, I mean, I know you could speak to this more, but
Yeah.
in the black community, masculinity is a whole thing, and accepting of femininity, forget even just homosexuality. It's just,
Mhm.
there's always been this fight, kind of, I would say. What would you say about it?
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. I think that masculinity in the Black community is something that is taken very seriously. People hold it to high esteem, masculinity. I think that because it goes back to even like slave days, because the emasculation of the black man during slavery was something that would keep them subservient. So that is where it's rooted in. But now,
Where
go
would
ahead.
it come from you, Kodi? Like, where have you experienced this as a black man? I mean, I know you're half Latino, half
Mhm.
black, but where
Mhm.
have you seen it in your life?
Well, definitely growing up, I was told to butch it up, not butch it up specifically, be a man, all those types of things, and so I've heard it all my life basically because I was a pretty effeminate child, and pink was my favorite color, and it.
Okay.
But I think that this all of this is really, really taking it a bit too far. I think that Boyce Watkins needs to have some formal training. He needs to get in there with Don Lemon and look at what masculinity really is. And preferably, he can learn something from Mr. Majors because he is very secure in whatever his sexuality is. He's there looking immaculate. The man is beautiful. I can't state that enough. I think that anyone who has a problem with how somebody else presents needs to really take a look inside and figure out what it is about them that is making that how somebody else presents uncomfortable. The color
Yeah,
pink is just a color at the end of the day.
exactly. And when you really break it down like you just did, it's like you're using old stereotypes of boy is for the boy, blue is for the boy, pink is
It's
for the girl,
stupid.
and it's so dumb. And yes, it's expression, and we should be all. There was some really good comments too that we didn't read too. Thank God, some people have really stood up for Jonathan and just being himself and owning it. And that's, I think, some of the best things. We're live here every Wednesday night, and we had some comments. Cali Dad says regarding Jonathan Majors, the straight hot.
Hoteps.
Uh,
Hoteps.
what is that? Hoteps.
It's when somebody basically it's about the black culture and
Oh,
somebody
I love that you know this. Yeah, thank you.
and it's basically when someone is very pro masculine and very pro black to the point of being uh to where everything else is regarded as less than basically.
I love it.
That's how I see it
I'm
basically.
sure. Yeah, he says the straight hoteps. Hoteps are
Hoteps.
not okay. Yeah, I butchered that. Thank you for that. Xavier, also watching us live every Wednesday night, is saying tonight about Don Lemon. Don Lemon is the prime example that gays are not morning people. Yeah, get a little bit more sleep, Don, and do your
Me.
evening show. Thank you very much. Billy Gibson watching us live says, I love the cover. Did you see the one with one slouching on a red surrounded by rose petals? When I was around my can you read that,
Bio,
Kodi?
bio when he was
I forgot
around
my
his
glasses. Sorry, guys.
It's okay, baby. When he was around his bio dad, the father would tell Billy that to be more of a man. So he liked wearing pretty colored
Oh.
shirts, t-shirts as well. I love pink. Um, and then Khaled also goes on to say that the overly Afrocentric boys, they tend to date white women. And I just thought that was
Oh, that's
hilarious.
amazing. Yes. Wow.
The
Well, you go
dichotomy in
on,
there.
Jonathan, with your bad self. Okay. Well, this is kind of a funny segue into a really story that we won't spend too much time on, but it's a study, and I love a good study. And this study found that men who drink Coke or Pepsi have larger testicles.
Oh yeah.
Research on mice, Kodi, showed that adult males who drank Coca Cola or Pepsi had higher testosterone levels and larger
Oh.
genitals than their peers. One group of 30 male mice was kept in a cage, and this sounds like a gay store, and their water bottle was filled with 50% Pepsi mixed with tap water. Another 30 mice were kept in a different cage and given pure Pepsi. The same was done for two groups of mice, but with Coca Cola. A fifth group was used as a control and given pure water. So the mass of the mice's testicles was measured on day 0, 5, 7, 10, 13, and 15. On day 15, you love how I'm taking this seriously, right? It is serious. It is an actual study. On day 15, the
Yeah.
mass of the mice's testicles was significantly higher in the groups that drank Coca Cola and 100% for Pepsi. So, the age old Pepsi versus Coke compared to the 50% Pepsi and control group. So, the outcome demonstrated a high dose of Pepsi Cola or Coca Cola could promote testes growth and development, the study said.
Oh
But I also
wow.
think that if you drink too much of that stuff, you're also going to have a sugar crash. And uh, I'm just saying here to
Yeah.
say that my testicles have always been on the larger side,
You drank
and
a
I
lot
don't
of
drink any
Pepsi when you were
soda.
growing up. But
But
what
what I
about when you
do
were
drink,
growing up?
Kodi, I drink a lot of these fishbowl margaritas, and maybe that's my superpower. Back to super. Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't. Okay, this story is great. I need to tell Joe to get on. I love big nuts. So I need to tell Joe to get on drinking some Pepsi or something
I
because
know. And interesting how they didn't do Diet Pepsi, Diet Coke. It was,
we need to
yeah,
get on that. Okay, when we're on CNN,
exactly.
that's our
There you
next study.
go. Not putting our foot in our mouth like Don Lemon. Okay, this is another one. So there's a guy that goes by Furry Grant, and he's on OnlyFans, and he says, "I make money on OnlyFans without showing my face. Here's how." So Furry Grant is his name, and he said, "I've always been a show off with my hairy body and big dick at parties, clubs, the gym. I can really relate to this on the cruise. My friend
You
was
and me
like,
both.
you,
I
you
just raised
cannot
my
be naked
hand.
enough." I was naked on this cruise so much. I learned so much about myself.
I'm so
But
jealous. I want to
so
do
back
it
to
too.
back to furry. But I have a relatively high profile job and want to keep at least a little mystery. Plus, there's something sexy and mysterious about anonymous porn. It allows the viewer to use the imagination and fill in the blanks. I could be your boss, your best friend, your neighbor. Who? Oh, okay, I like all this. Um,
Oh, I'm
at
hit
the
subscribe.
so at the moment, he only shares solo content, explicit pictures, videos, and stories. I don't show full face, but occasionally share a little peaks, chin, beard, mouth, etc., to keep viewers curious and horny. I don't have any identifying marks, tattoos, scars that immediately give me away, though my
Mhm.
dick is one of a kind. And Cody, can you put that in the comment section of our live viewers? I'll post
Oh
this on
yes.
TAGSPodcast.com, episode 442, so you can check it out. And he does end up saying a lot of his content is filmed and shot in POV, point of view, as I love giving the viewer an intimate experience with myself and my body. Social media is awesome. I have a large following, and I think it's working for him. This is interesting, Cody, because I mean, when you look at the pictures and audience, you'll understand what I'm talking about. He has all the right features. I mean,
Yeah, he's a hot guy.
bod, the hairy body's perfectly trimmed, I think, for a lot of taste. he's in the pictures that we'll show you. He's got a jock strap on, really nice ass, great dick, and I love it that he does a lot of solo work and that he keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
Because I always thought to keep an OnlyFans going on and on and on is, oh my gosh, you would always have to find new partners, the
Mhm.
lighting. If you just relied, he's made it work for him. I mean, I was running around the cruise going, should I do an OnlyFans? I think
The
rent's
answer is
due.
always yes. Rent is due.
Everybody, rent is. I saw a T-shirt at this that said "rent's due this month," and then I said, "Should I get that?" I told my friend. I
And the
mean,
answer is no, because rent is
you
due.
think I'm kidding, y'all?
It's hard out here, okay?
I'm so tough, people. You got to do what you got to do.
We're going
And
into a recession, child.
yeah.
So.
What do you think of this guy and what he's doing and how he's made it work for him?
I love it. I think that this gives me hope because one of my main hang-ups as far as starting an OnlyFans, I know that I've mentioned it on the show several times, is
Yes.
that the anonymity part of it. I don't want to put my business out there, my face out there, this beautiful face right here. I just want to show off my bod and my penis. And I'm looking at his penis and I'm thinking, his is pretty comparable to mine. We have the pretty much
Yeah.
very much the same penises. So
Hey, so audience, just put Cody's face, cut out Cody's face, and put this guy's penis, and then you pretty much got the image of what Kodi would look like naked with a heart on.
mine is a little bit browner.
Oh, here. Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say bigger. I'm like, okay, now we're just bragging.
But that's really it. So it gives me hope, and I think that if I wanted to start an OnlyFans, I think that this would be the way that I'm going to go. But I never say never. But I'm also a big tease. So
I think it's brilliant that he's doing it this way. And it sounds like they did this whole profile on him, and it sounds like he's getting all the viewers. And to your point, when you worry about things like that, like, is this going to come back and haunt me? Is this really the best move? Is my boyfriend going to really be about this?
Mhm.
There's nobody can really complain, right?
Yeah.
Because no one can redirect it back to you. So he's really made it work for him. I think, it's not easy, but yeah, kudos to him.
I'm stealing his business plan. I also thought about masks too. So
Oh,
there's
yes.
there's
Oh, that would
something to
be
hot, right?
very hot.
So
Absolutely.
I don't know. I have a couple ideas floating out there, so we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, we have to move on. We are live. We want to keep hearing from you guys. And this next, we're going to pair a couple of stories together, and it's all going to be related to relationships, how long relationships, do you believe in romantic love, and about open relationships. And it all
Oh yeah.
stemmed
Get
from
your drinks ready.
get your drinks ready. Because it all stemmed from a podcast where the actress, I actually like her a lot, Emma Thompson,
Me too.
Sense and Sensibility, one of my favorite movies of all time. I loved her. Emma Thompson admitted on a podcast recently that romantic love is a myth and that long-term relationships are a lot of hard work. And she said she was actually talking about movies that actually it all ends and they walk into the sunset, and that's all a myth. And it was kind of depressing, but hearing it in her British accent, it didn't sound as bad as if you broke it down in an American Reddit. It would be like, so like, why will we even bother, right? It got me thinking, and then I started seeing some other stories that were related to this. And one of them is one of my current favorite singers, Omar Apollo. I just love him so much. He's like my favorite new singer. Omar is 25, and he has a brand new song which I downloaded today because I had to hear, what is this song about? Well, Three Boys is his brand new single. You guys can get it wherever you get your music. And he sings about the idea of polyamory in the song. And essentially, he's saying that this would never work for him, right? At least where he's at right now, that a relationship of three isn't exactly for him. And in the song, he actually questioned the idea of polyamory. also known as non-monogamy.
Okay.
And he eventually realizes in the song that he cannot do it. So here's some of the lyrics that I'll read to you. 3 boys would work if I wasn't so tethered to you. What should
Mm,
I do? I can't even choose. I'm tethered to you. Hey. And the he shared
that's
recently,
beautiful.
yeah, and what's cool about him is that he recently told Billboard magazine that he's comfortable now expressing his sexuality through releasing more music. I wasn't super open about my sexuality, but people were hearing things in Indiana. People were saying he's not even gay, he's just doing that to be artsy. I've always thought it was funny because the reality of my life is not that. It's not a choice. It's just what I am. You have to laugh at all those things. This is why I love him.
Yeah.
So, and by the way,
And he's cute too.
he's super cute. I have a big crush on him. He's going on the road with SZA, who I really like as well,
Right?
on the
So good.
their upcoming SOS tour. But check out 3 boys. But I guess the question being is, and we have one more story to pair it up with, is what do you think about what my first comment,
Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson, about long-term relationships? Was that a little dour, and or what are your thoughts?
So I believe in romantic love, but I can so see in Emma Thompson's statement, I can relate to it so much. Love is not like it's not like the movies. It takes hard work and too much talking and too much listening and too much compromising and sometimes too much yelling.
Yeah.
It's
But it's worth it, I think, is what you're trying to say in the
That is
end.
what my next point was going to be, is that it's worth it because you have to ask yourself, is your partner and that you're putting all this time and work and effort into it, are they the person that you want to live the rest of your life with? Because you can build a foundation for a stronger relationship and a more powerful union if you do all of those things. So I think that in the end, it's really worth it. But I think that what Emma Thompson was saying, it really hits home for me because I've had to learn, being with my boyfriend for the past 2 years, that it is really a lot of work. And it's not like in the movies where at the end they just get together, they get married, and then it's done. It's happily ever after. It's not like that.
Right, and I agree, but we all want I don't watch a lot of those rom-coms, but
Hmm.
we get it. She's I think we get it that we just want to even know that we can have somebody for us and it gives us hope. We probably should realize that it's not the end all game and that what happens after the movie's over. But I do think that she's also talking about traditional one-on-one relationships, and I think what
Hmm.
Omar is singing in his song is a little bit more our community and how our community actually expresses ourselves and how our community experiences throuples and polyamory. And
Yep.
it's a little bit, so she's talking a little bit more about traditional one-on-one relationships. He's taking it a step further, but he's also saying that he doesn't think that he could do that.
Yeah.
I actually think personally, for me, for the long time, I always thought, oh, I could never have an open relationship. That would never work for me. But
Yeah.
now I am on this whole kick of a throuple, starting because we were at this wedding here in Puerto Vallarta, actually Nayarit next door.
Hmm.
And there was this throuple that I bonded with so much. And
Really?
one of them I really bonded with sexually. And they had that openness that I could even get with them. And they have this house in the middle of nowhere, not nowhere, but like remotely near Napa, and they're living their best life, these 3
Wow.
guys. And then on the cruise, I was hanging out with this couple, and they were tossing me back and forth at times. One minute I would be with one, and they were okay with it. And I was telling my friend, I'm moving to where these guys I'm going to pitch
Wait a minute,
to
girl.
them to
You about
be
to be the third?
I honestly, Kodi, and I'm being really honest, I could see maybe that's more my speed, is to be in a
Wow.
throuple and not a traditional relationship like what she's referencing. It's more of a different type of a union, a polyamorous union.
She
And
found love out of a kayak cruise. I love it. The love boat.
yeah, and we're not talking about Emma Thompson. Thank you.
I mean, I have thought about polyamory and opening up the relationship as well. It's actually something that we have discussed in our relationship. Um, but at the end of the day, I personally wouldn't be able to achieve the balance of being with more than one person. I can barely rub my stomach and tap my head at the same time.
Darling, you can do that.
I don't think so. And the thought of Joe having sex with somebody else puts me in a place that I'm a very jealous person. I don't want to go to that place. And good for anybody and you if you can achieve that, but it's not for me, at least not at this time. It's not something I'm ever going to write off, but I do think that it's not for me right now.
And then to follow up on that, there's a great article on The Advocate. Ian Kerner wrote about the reasons to open up a relationship. Actually, how can a monogamous couple happily become non-monogamous? It's a good read. I will post this on TAGSPodcast.com. It really looks in-depthly and interviews some psychologists on how you can do this. And one of the things you can always imagine, communication, right? Talk,
Yeah.
talk, and talk some more. There's no doubt that ethical non-monogamy requires communication and lots of it. Quote, I suggest a what if conversation before anyone takes anything into action. This is based on Los Angeles-based sex therapist Tammy Nelson.
Mhm.
Quote, talking about the potential positives as well as the pitfalls of a possible exploration can prevent problems that would come up later. The more you talk about the issues before they happen, the better.
Nice.
So, some really good points on what to consider. Things like establishing ground rules. I've heard other people, though, Kodi, say they don't like the term rules because that brings it into a whole new dimension. But this is one way,
I can see that because then it becomes too stringent. I think I like the parameters.
We had somebody on our show, Kodi, that
Yeah.
said they didn't like the word
And
rules.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Because it really, really restricts how you think about things. And guidelines is more of a more loose word, but still it provides some structure. I think structure is a very good word. That just popped in my head out of nowhere. But yes, yeah, I agree.
And this isn't in the article. I will post this on TAGSPodcast.com. But one thing I think of is, what about, in addition to laying out the parameters, what if you did a trial period and talked about, I mean, you're going to be talking a lot about this stuff, but with your partner, but checking in with them and seeing how are we. And you could, I don't know if it's too late to go back, but if once you open up Pandora's box, but you could try it out for a trial period.
Yeah.
And keep the receipts if you got to return it, right?
I don't know. We better ask Christina Aguilera because she put the genie back in the bottle. I have no idea.
And how did it work out for her?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh man.
We
Rub
have
me
to
the
move
right
on.
way. Oh,
yes.
sorry.
No, right. All right. We are live on this Wednesday night and we have to move on. Somebody sent me this story and I wanted to talk about it because the FBI and local police have been investigating a bomb threat that was made during drag story hour. This was in Arizona. A coffee shop's drag queen story hour had to be shut down because of a bomb threat. And the LGBTQ owned and friendly Brick Road Coffee in Tempe was harassed and protested over the weekend. It had caught the attention of the far right extremist group, the Proud Boys, who were upset that the establishment was hosting a drag queen story hour. Then a bomb threat was sent to the coffee shop via the internet about 20 minutes into the story hour. Police responded to the coffee shop when they received the threat, but could not find any explosives and are investigating the matter. Crazy, right,
That
Kodi?
is too much. I cannot believe. Yeah. Were you going to say something?
I was just going to quickly follow up before we discuss it a little bit more. One of the reasons we talk about these things is because where are these threats coming from? And Meta is Instagram and Facebook, right? Essentially, Meta has been found to be profiting from the term groomer slur. And this is a brand new report. So Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, has profited off of advertisements that use the anti-LGBTQ plus slur groomer, despite the term violating the corporation's content policies, according to a new report. So Media Matters for America essentially did this study, and they found more than 200 ads across its platform that falsely painted the LGBTQ plus community as dangerous because they are sexualizing children. And last July, Meta acknowledged that the term groomer violated the platform's policy against hate speech, but since then the company has continued
But they
running.
didn't do nothing.
Yeah, they didn't do anything. They're still running the ads containing hateful rhetoric, plus 63 new ones Media Matters reported on recently. So this is really drumming up, Kodi, the right, Republican right side, and we're seeing it's really targeting our community. And I mean, what are your thoughts on this when you hear what's going on with Meta and then as a direct correlation, bomb threats on our community?
This is just so sad that we have to continue to report on things like this. I get that we have to do it, but it's just becoming too much. It's becoming a real struggle for me to. I think that our community is just under attack right now. And
Yeah.
think that it's just really sad that so many things are happening to our community that we have to face on. It's becoming daily, and we report on it weekly, and we just have to remain vigilant. We have to go out there and make sure that we are protesting, that we're voting for the right people to be in office, because the thing that jumped out at me during the first story about Tempe, Arizona,
Right.
the mayor, Corey Woods, his response was he actually named those people. I'm not going to say their name. You already said it. So
Yeah.
just go back 5 seconds and you will hear the name of the hate group. He actually called them a hate group, and he drew a line in the sand against this hate group.
The
And
Proud Boys, right?
yeah, with them.
Yeah.
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 And so I really think that the more that we vote the right people in, the better off we will be, and the easier our fight will be, because we need to have allies in this time. So good for you, Mayor Corey Woods. Thank you so much for standing up for what's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll continue to report on these things because I think, where are these stemming from? We all use Instagram and many of us still use Facebook. And you think that you're kind of safe in your world when you're using these, but you're part of another community. They're keeping these ads in there. And
Yeah.
I just hope
Well,
yeah.
that doesn't surprise me, because the more that you look at Instagram and on Facebook, they are disproportionately banning and flagging our content, LGBTQ content, as inappropriate. So, and violating their terms. So that doesn't surprise me at all. We need to do something to make sure that Instagram and Facebook are held accountable for this type of anti-LGBTQ rhetoric that they're spewing right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, we have to get to what we really do best is give advice, correct,
Oh,
Kodi?
yes.
Yeah. And I couldn't help but think, because we keep talking about relationships, and there was a Reddit thread posted by Creative Flamingo, and they posted the question for those looking for a long-term relationship: what slightly unusual, controversial, or unpopular reasons make you swipe left on dating apps? So for me, they write, I know it's a great thing to travel, but if their whole profile is travel to the excess, I don't feel compelled to date this person. Wow, okay. I have a lot to Another one I heard people say is, if there are more than a few drinking alcohol photos, are there cliches or things that on the surface seem great but make you inclined to swipe left? Wow. This guy
Wow.
is probably, I can already think or give advice, like, you are turning away too many people.
Yeah.
And based on
For small things.
exactly what this person wrote on, so I've said I'm got on a fourth date with the guy back in New York. And I was a little bit worried, to be honest, because we were getting a rhythm going, correct? And here we are. I had all these trips planned, right? So I had the Kaya cruise line. Here I am now in Puerto Vallarta, which was planned right after it because I'm helping my sister with her condo. And then I'm going right after this. I'll be a couple days at home and I'm going to Vegas. But for what? A podcast conference, which is really for what we do. Still doing the show. But I thought, my friend posed the question. She's like, are you worried that the rhythm that you started with that guy is going to like diminish and you're going to kill it? And I said, I saw him the day that before I left, and we had a great romantic time together. And I've checked in with him and he's responded back. In fact, he sent me something about an artist I love on Instagram, Madonna, today. And I thought that was
Oh,
really
cute.
cute. So I think so for me, worrying about like the travel thing and thinking that he's going to think I travel too much, he's been very responsive back. So it's not that big of a deal. The other thing is I drink, back to the fishbowl here, quite a bit.
Thank you, Fishbowl.
Thanks, Fishbowl in the house. He doesn't drink at all. I mean, he does drink, but he only has like one drink or two here and there. So seeing somebody now, I would be more concerned about their behavior if
Yes.
they're a sloppy drunk. But why are you going to swipe? What is it? Swipe right or left if you're not interested? Why swipe left? My producer off camera told me.
Thank you so much.
Why swipe? Yeah, why swipe left on somebody before you even had a chance to meet them in person? If you meet them in person, like you're just going to look at pictures on them and determine that they have one too many drinks in their hand, they're a lush and a drunk. No, I'm here to tell you that exactly what this guy has said in his profile, which he's a little worried about. I'm currently dating a guy that we don't have the same. I'm traveling a ton. I drink more than he does, and it's still working. We just respect each other.
Yeah. I don't think any of the things that this guy listed would be an issue for me as far as swiping left or right. I don't know which one is which. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Left is not interested. Right is interested.
Okay, fabulous.
Swipe right if you're interested.
She said.
Yeah. I got the thumbs up on swipe right is interested.
Fabulous. So, but something that would alarm me as far as somebody's profile pictures are concerned, if there are things that directly relate to something that I have issues with in my own life. So if their room is extra dirty, then I wouldn't be able to go with that, because an extra dirty room
if their room is extra dirty
in your profile pictures, if your room is extra dirty,
we just talked about that actor the other day, Gage. What's his name? Luke Gage.
Yeah.
Who got the job on White Lotus, and they were calling out. Oh, I didn't tell you the story.
No, you're surprising me right now.
Real quick sidebar.
Yeah,
Lucas Gage, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
We were just talking about on episode 441 about sex positivity in You that he's currently on. My friend was telling him about how he got the White. He was auditioning during the pandemic on camera, and they thought the Zoom was muted, and a British casting director said, these poor actors, look at the type of small boxes they live in, and look at the dirty mess, and just look at the TV and the cup behind him, and the mute was not off, and Lucas heard it, and he said, I know my house is a mess, but give me the job, and then I can afford a better place.
Well,
and
there it is.
He got the job, and that went viral, by the way, and the guy was mortified. The British casting director was mortified, but it's worth a look, you guys, if you haven't seen that. But to me, I wouldn't. So that's the point. I wouldn't hold certain things. I think my point is, and I do have one, is that meet somebody in person and see how they really are. You're never going to get 100% of things. I think we're so quick to want to swipe left. Swipe right once in a while. You don't have to go to dinner with the person, but meet up.
Just go to their dirty room, and
you could just go to their dirty room. Exactly. I apologize for my room too, which isn't always. My bed's always made though, Kodi. Is that
well?
Good
then you are halfway there. You are almost.
I am halfway there. Okay,
right on you. Honestly, you know about aesthetics. In your profile picture, your room is dirty. In your profile picture, no. I'm okay. Swipe left.
Here's where I'll agree with
Right?
you, though. On my last date with the guy that I'm seeing, I wasn't sure because he doesn't drink, and I thought, is he one of those gays that is a partier? Excuse me. Like he goes, is he like at every circuit party?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna have to keep up with that, or he's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be going to these parties. You know, my mind was spinning.
Mm-hmm.
You're spinning, Carrie. Whoever is Sex with the City. Stop spinning. And so I was wondering about that. So I said, so when you go out, you go to like, are you at the circuit parties? I mean, we get, and I started to be like, we get so many like ads on our phones for the current circuit parties. Like, oh no, I don't really go to those at all that much. Once in a while, I'm like, oh, whew, thank God. Okay. So I got like, good, because to me that maybe would have been a swipe left.
Oh, really?
Well,
See,
I don't
so
know why
you
I'm
did,
swiping because he was in my living room.
but
Well,
you
I had to slap him left. I mean,
get the hell out right now.
remember, I don't do online apps, so I don't
Yeah.
really understand. Yeah, I mean, I would just slap him left and
So
hope he slapped him out
it's
of my room.
the very nice, like, so I think it's time for me to go to bed and for you to leave and go to your own apartment.
That would have been the swipe left. Yeah, exactly. By the way, I still feel like I'm in the cruise every so often. I get like the
You get
boat
a little
shaking.
vertigo?
Yeah, I
Oh
know.
my
Yeah,
God.
I know. I just had it like this second, and I'm not on a boat. But anyway, sorry. Sidebar.
Okay.
Have another fishbowl margarita, and
And you'll straighten out.
yeah.
Not on talk about gay sex. No, you won't straighten out, darling.
I will
Okay.
not. We will never straighten out.
That's
No,
right.
absolutely. Oh my goodness. Did you have another comment on that, or did you want to move
No,
on?
I think that's it.
Okay. Which Reddit thread did you want to go with, and can you please read it?
I can't.
Don't take too long, girl.
Okay, I got it. I'm on it. So I think that the one I'm going to read is no, not that one. I am addicted to sex parties.
Oh, good. I was hoping. Yes.
So I am not me personally, but this Reddit writer is seriously addicted to sex parties. I used to be. Last month they visited NYC for vacation. They love NYC for several reasons, and yes, they know that there are a lot of people that are hating NYC for various reasons. What are those,
Oh,
Miss
we
Thing?
didn't need that. Yeah.
I know, right? When this person visits, they usually do a tour, a lot, and meet up, and some people usually and they meet people through the apps like Grindr or Tinder and have fun with them. But this time was totally different. On the first day of NYC, they became super horny and they could not even get out of it after jerking off. Then they got a message through an app that there was a sex party. They didn't know what to do and they really wanted to get fucked and have some sex. Oh my gosh, I'm reading this through for the first time all the way. But on the other side, they were quite worried too because they are a person that loves their comfort zone. So they decided to go there and were super horny. Again, they must have been really horny because they said it twice.
I guess.
And it was actually quite amazing. It is kind of amazing at sex parties. Insane party music and lots of naked people. They were just dominated by their lust. And what they did was super slutty and up the ass and down the head. I don't know what down the head means, but okay. All right. So they basically say they are living in a small town and there is no place for gays. And now they're even considering visiting huge cities to go to nearby sex parties. Is this like an addiction, even if they hook up with one guy, or is it just not enough for them anymore? What do you think, Steve?
So let me. So is it like an addict? Even if I hook up with one guy, one is just not enough for me anymore. That's a good. I always love it if you pose a question like that because you're questioning your own. Can you hear me? Okay, Kodi?
Yeah, I can hear you.
My mic didn't change.
I don't think so. You sound very full still.
Okay, good. I think if you question things like that, you're good. that you're questioning, like, is this an addiction kind of thing? I think having fun can be in periods of time. I talked about being on the Vakaya cruise line
Mhm.
recently in the red light district, and it was a period of time. My friend was joking around with me, like, how are you going to be able to top that after, well, bottom that after getting off the cruise? And I really just think it's when you're in a certain mode and a period of time. I think this person just needs to give themselves a break. And if you're having those, if you're always thinking about it, then I think you need to find other activities so that you're not always in a sex mode. I
Mhm.
think there can be times when you're going to have more sex, and that's when you're going to also think about your sexual health more often than not. But
Mhm.
I don't think that it's, if you're finding that you can't turn that dial off or button
Mhm.
off, then I think you need to start looking into, like, well, why is that? But I think he's posing the question, and
Mhm.
that's always a good thing.
It's a
Posing
good
it even
start.
to Reddit is a really good, you're going to get some really good responses. And I think, to me, asking the question is half the battle
Yeah.
because you're posing it out there for yourself. And I think you'll know when it's too much and when you need to divert a little bit. But to me, enjoy it. If you're having a moment of sex positivity like that, enjoy it.
I agree, and yet I still kind of disagree because to me it sounded like in his speech that he was not, it was not enough the sex that he was having.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
t- to me in his speech it does look like he should be a little bit cognizant of whether or not he is addicted to sex and sex in general, sex parties specifically, and he should probably do some self-reflection in order to see where this is stemming from and to see what he needs to do to kind of mitigate the effects of a sex addiction. I'm not a therapist. He needs to probably go see a therapist and see what this is all about, what the underlying cause is. I agree with you that it is okay to go to sex parties and make sure that you're having as much fun as possible, to be as sex positive as possible. But when it starts to become not enough, or there seems to be issues with the sex that you're having is not fulfilling, then that is a huge red flag for me.
Yeah, well, like anything, it can be a slippery slope. Anything too much of a good thing can always lead to an overconsumption of a
Yeah.
certain thing. And I think that's where perhaps maybe he could go. And if you're finding that it's not enough, then, but I do go back to, he's posing the question.
Yeah, and that is
Then
a
you
good start.
then you want to go back to what really is, how can I enjoy those times when I want to go to a sex positive sex party event, and how can I also, like you said, use the word mitigate it with time with my friends, and so I'm not just thinking about this 24/7. And how can I maybe spend time, maybe like go on a couple dates here and
Yeah.
there, and then rinse and repeat kind of thing, where you have
Get
a
fucked.
balance.
Hang out with your
Yeah,
friends.
you have a balance of it all. But I think posing the question's great. I do agree
Yes.
with you. Where the part I agree with you, where you said I disagree, I agree with you. I just think it can be a slippery slope if you find
Yeah.
yourself in one area doing a repetitive of sex parties, and it's not even, sounds like it maybe isn't satisfying, like you're
Mhm.
not satisfying your need, and it's this vicious cycle.
Yeah,
That is where I think maybe he was alluding to. And if
I
you're
think so too.
down that, well, then you're not even enjoying the thing that you thought you want. And
Yep.
that's where you got to look at it, which he is doing. And hopefully there was lots of comments, which we don't have time to read in there. We only have, because we only care about our own and this margarita.
Put
Back
it
to
back
the,
in the Yes, thank you. I was like, where is our special guest host?
all right. Well, I hope that helps. We are always here for you as well to give relationship and sex advice, solicited or not. You can always reach out to us, DM us at TAGSPodcast. That's where you can also give us commentary on topics you've heard. You can also go to tagspodcast.com and email us via the website. Show notes are there too.
Yes.
Well, I haven't done this in a minute, but Straight Up Gay Porn does their. I think this week was their top what, Kodi? 17
Yes.
gay porn stars, and they asked the question, who took the best photo or video of the week? And our job is to vividly describe to you on an audio podcast, because of course the show gets repackaged, on why we picked that one. I was looking through, I haven't done this in a minute. There's some good ones.
There are
And,
some
I mean,
good
they just
ones.
get better and better. But I think I had to go with Derek Kane for mine. And the reason, he's in a sling, and there were slings on this Vakaya cruise I was on. And
Ooh.
he's in a sling. He also has a jock strap on, and his dick is huge. He must be drinking Coca-Cola because his balls are huge. And I'm not always. Remember, I was talking about the perfect ratio of hairy ass to hole that I got. He has that same thing that I think I was being complimented for. So but it's back to me. But he has a beautiful ass and hole, and he has a great smirk on his face.
Oh, yes, he does.
And he has really cool socks on that are always sexy to see, and he looks just ready, willing, and raring to go. Again, this will be on TAGSPodcast.com, where you can vote for. Please, if you go onto our site and you go onto this particular link, vote, because Straight Up Gay Porn does a tally, and at the end of the year, they actually award somebody who, like, of the year. So, in fact, I'm going to vote for Derek right now. But Kodi, in the meantime, is he? Oh my God!
Look at you!
I always love it when I pick. I always say, I'm so happy I picked Madonna, Janet, and Lisa Stansfield, who are still making music today, and they weren't one-hit wonders. I'm still winning, baby. Who do you pick?
So, first of all, Derek Gage was my number 2. So, because it was a very close race for me this week. But my vote this week goes to Idolo Andrade. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But
Andrade.
Okay. Yeah, he's beautiful. He's in a marble bathroom, wearing only sunglasses, completely naked, looking like a naked Matrix character, if you will. He's taking a mirror selfie, but it's from the side view. He's standing to the side, so it's his profile. And the marble bathroom, just yes. The pose, yes. The tattoos, yes, please. The body, double yes. And the dick is just, it's just gorgeous. He's just gorgeous. He's my vote for this week.
I love it. Thank you very much. And, you can always vote. Go to tagspodcast.com. We are good.
Yes.
I think, Kodi. We want to thank our live virtual audience. Thanks for tuning in. And we apologize for putting the link out there a little bit late today, but thank you for tuning in. Makes the show so much more fun when you guys tune in. Everybody can tune in. We're here every Wednesday night. The link should and will always, from here on out, be on TAGSPodcast.com. Just click on Tags Live, or go to our Instagram account at TAGSPodcast, where I put it in the story every Wednesday afternoon. I want to thank my co-host. You can follow him. He is a life coach. Follow him at KMD Coaching, but also follow his sexy personal account where you see a lot of chest action at Mr. Maurice. And follow me at @IAM_Steve V. That's right. We are back next week with all new shows. Thanks, Kodi. Always fun.
Thank you, Boo. So much fun.
Yeah, could you follow me on Instagram, because I will be posting a lot of stuff from here in Puerto Vallarta as I'm working and doing all kinds of fun stuff, but I love to hear from you. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay
sex.
Yes.